Hello. So today we're going to discuss with Mr. Spencer Stevenson, also known as, more popularly, Spex. If you visit his website spexhair.com, you will find a flood of information. He has been a mentor in this field for a very long time now. Based in United Kingdoms, he has mentored a large number of patients, not only from UK, but from all corners of the globe, into getting effective, safe hair transplants, which are natural and appealing. Spex is a member of the IHRS. IHRS is an organization which was started by Mr. Spencer Cobrain of the Bald Truth radio show, very popular all over the North American continent and other parts of the English-speaking world.
Hair loss. You know it sucks. So why not join the boys to bitch about it? Call in now to speak with Spencer and Spex. 0203-3724-683. This is The Bald Truth UK.
So being a member of the IHRS and having done so many podcasts and so many shows along with Mr. Spencer Cobrain, this is added to the appeal, to the popularity, and to the acceptance of Spex, that is Spencer Stevenson, in the field of hair restoration surgery. Many patients seek his good counsel, his advice, before going in for a hair transplant. And Mr. Spencer Stevenson has a select list of hair transplant surgeons from around the globe whom he recommends. And we are proud that Darling Buds is one of them. So Mr. Spencer Stevenson wanted to know, for clients who are interested in getting hair transplant done in Darling Buds, how the coronavirus, the COVID era, how it has affected the practice. What does the future hold in store for practice of hair restoration surgery, especially travel from abroad, popularly known as medical tourism. He wants to know what are the safety features that are in place in our clinic for patients who travel and who are hesitant presently to travel to far-off countries. How do we ensure their safety, that they will not get infected? When will the skies open for hair transplant surgery? And he also wanted to know whether we are giving discounts right now because everyone seems to be affected. The economy is very slow. He is also very interested in our protocols of safety while handling patients, while doing the procedure and during the follow-up. So well, Mr. Spex, please ask us the questions that are in your mind and I'll try and answer to the best of my capability.
Hello, Dr. Bhatti. Based on a number of questions I've received, a lot of clients have asking me about surgery with you, but unfortunately they physically can't be there because of obviously the recent COVID times. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions. And one, I suppose, how are you ensuring during this pandemic that you're able to maintain safety with all your clients? How do you ensure your clients for the day will not get or will not transmit the virus during the procedure? What protocols are you using?
So what are the protocols in place in Darling Buds for a patient seeking a hair transplant procedure with us? This is the moment we should not think of profits. This is the moment when we should just lie low, let these times pass. I think this year is wasted as far as revenue is concerned. We are following all the laid down norms of the Indian government for medical establishments. Any patient coming to us is tested for temperature. They're all healthy patients because they're coming for hair transplant. Our sick patient would not come for hair transplant at this moment of time. But we take regularly their temperature, and some patients who have a suspicion of having had a fever in the past are submitted to a COVID test. As many would know that in our hospital establishment, we have our own laboratory run by my wife, and most of the tests are done there. We do not allow overcrowding. Not more than 2 to 5 patients in a day are allowed to visit the clinic, and that too, their appointments are staggered. They are staggered between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. and masks are worn, sanitization of the patients, sanitization of the environment. No two patients can come together. If somebody is accompanying them, he's made to sit in an isolated room on the ground floor. And when we consult with the patient, proper distance is maintained. The patient wears a mask, the doctor wears a mask, and all precautions are taken. The patient has to fill up a COVID form, a form of recent travel history, a form of recent illnesses, whether he's had fever, cough, breathlessness in the recent past. If there is any suspicion, any doubt, we do not take the patient up for surgery at the moment and we ask him to come later. As far as the staff goes, the staff is tested for coronavirus. The staff maintains a distance from one another. The staff has a bus in which they are picked up from their doorstep, from their homes, and brought to the clinic. There is no undue exposure of the staff in public transportation. We do only one case in a day. This has been our practice even before the pre-COVID era. So this adds to the safety in our clinic. And as you can see, our clinic is located in my Five Rivers Hospital building, and it's a very spacious area where there is no overcrowding. There are enough rooms to segregate patients coming into the OPD, to segregate attendants, and to keep a safe distance between staff members. So these are the protocols we have, the basic protocols we have in place in our clinic.
And two, how much has COVID affected the hair transplant business in India?
Well, coronavirus has affected everybody in more ways than one. What initially we thought that it is only going to be a week-long lockdown turned into a 2.5, 3 months lockdown. And even during the unlockdown phase, things are not returned to normal. And they are not likely to return to normal in the near future. Flights are not yet open. It's the third week of September we are in, and it seems things are not going to normalize this year. As I see it, it's not before June that we should return to normal. Not before a valid, workable vaccine is invented, and that is not going to be very soon. So this has affected our businesses. This has affected our traditional client base, and therefore revenues across the board have been affected by the coronavirus. It's not that we're not getting patients. We get patients every now and then. It is sufficient to run the practice, to pay the bills, the overheads, the cost of establishment, and the salaries.
Are you giving discounts to attract clients in to have surgery with you?
Of all the businesses affected by coronavirus, the businesses which are considered a luxury, like air travel in most cases, like holidaying and cosmetic surgery, and hair transplant is a procedure which can easily be put off unless a person has a body image problem or he has certain milestones, he's getting married and he has to get a hair transplant done, which is time bound. Patients are more and more putting off their surgeries to a later date. So this has shrunk businesses, and this has hit the hair restoration surgery practices all over the world very hard. The cases seen in the outpatient department may be the same as before or a little less, but the patients opting for surgery have shrunk to about 40%. Though the patient shrinkage is 40%, the revenue shrinkage has come down to 10 to 15%. However, it is slowly rising, but this means that clinics have to give more and more discounts to attract patients. All over the world, people now have less disposable income. The economies around the world are shrinking, and therefore the pockets are not deep enough at the moment. So clinics have to give discounts to attract patients, and that is what we are doing. We are offering up to 40 to 50% discount in cases who get their procedure done in a given period of time, that is before the end of October. When we started our clinic, when we opened our clinic on 18th of May after the lockdown was over and we were allowed by the government to open the clinic, there was just a very slow trickle of clients. But over a period of time, they are picking up. The apprehensions remain. Some patients are very anxious that they should not contract COVID through a procedure which is not essential for them at the moment. So this is affecting practices. There might be some clinics which are closing down because it is impossible in this time to pay your overhead expenses, the expenses of running an establishment, the salaries that you have to pay. It is a huge burden. And many clinics which have taken loans, the huge loans from banks, are finding it very difficult to repay the loans. So in this environment, many clinics will temporarily shut down. Clinics which are surviving will continue to survive in a no-profit environment. There will be clinics which are profiting. Well, those are clinics which are well-established clinics. They will continue to profit no matter what. However, the profits this year will be less than 50% of what was there in the preceding year, that is 2019. At our clinic in Darling Buds, we are grateful to God that we are surviving. Even if we do not have too much of profit, at least we are able to pay the salaries, pay the cost of the establishment, and various other miscellaneous expenses. Yes, Mr. Spex, we are giving discounts. We give discounts from 35 to 50% over our regular costing for hair transplant. It was as high as 50% when we opened on 18th of May, but now the discounts are becoming less because more and more patients are asking us for hair transplant. Our patient clientele base, which was about 50% from overseas, has shrunk to less than 1% from overseas, and that too from neighboring countries only. Most of our market now is domestic market, and that too in and around Chandigarh, Delhi area. The states of Punjab, of Rajasthan, and Haryana and Himachal Pradesh. We do get occasional patients traveling to us from other metropolitan cities like Bangalore, Pune, Bombay, Chennai, Kolkata, but they are few and far between. As the domestic market picks up, we are reducing our discounts, and I think by October, November, we should be at the full rate. That is 89 per graft for the standard package, excluding GST 18%. So things are picking up, but our traditional client base of patients coming from all over the globe is not likely to pick up till June of 2021.
When will the skies open for flights in India?
Well, the skies are now open. People are traveling by air. But people are not traveling by air for reasons which can be postponed, like for a hair transplant, for any other cosmetic surgery procedure. Medical tourism has been severely hit because of various factors. Number one is the apprehension of travel. And secondly, and more importantly, is the cost of travel. A patient travels abroad for a good procedure at an affordable price. Now, when the price of the airfare is almost double or triple at times, it may become financially not feasible, financially unviable to undertake the journey at the moment. A return flight from the United States to India, which was costing around $1,250 US before the coronavirus started, is now costing up to $5,000 US. And there are very few flights. Most of the flights are booked by people traveling home, by people relocating, people traveling on emergencies for essential surgeries, or to meet their relatives abroad. Very few people will travel during this period unless, of course, discounts are given to them to outweigh the extra cost that they have to pay for air travel. Well, all the hotels are open now in India, and they are following strict precautions as laid down by government directives. But still travel and stay is not picking up. People are anxious. They have a deep foreboding about the future. They do not want to spend on something which is not essential because the coronavirus pandemic has eaten into savings. It has eaten into earnings in some places. People are out of work. People are out of business. It has hit and hurt the world economy like never before. It was not anticipated ever that we'll be passing through this phase. So I personally do not feel that things will return to normal till June of 2021. People will remain apprehensive, flights will continue to be costly, and coronavirus cases are not going to plateau before March of 2021. And the vaccine, the COVID vaccine, is nowhere in sight. There are tall claims, but there is no proof that a vaccine which is effective is around the corner. So it is rather a bleak outlook for medical tourism all over the world, and especially for hair transplant surgeries.
I wish you all the luck you deserve and all the credit for being, on the article that I wrote, the top 20 hair transplant surgeons in the world. You truly deserve to be there, and I wish you all the best given the current climate, and keep up the great work.
So thank you, Mr. Spex. I'm sure you're doing all you can to get clients to us when the skies open, when things get better. And thank you for your help. You're doing a wonderful job. Thank you.